What's up, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of the Upland Show. We're super excited to be with you here today. Thank you so much for watching, and please hit that subscribe button as well. Leave a comment as well. We love interacting with you guys. Just wanted to shout out with some love for the community. We've been growing at a crazy rate, and we highly appreciate all the support. Thank you so much to all of you for watching. Today we are talking about the awesome upcoming release of the City of Los Angeles. McSqueeb, how excited were you when you found out the City of Los Angeles is coming to Upland?
On one hand, super excited. On the other hand, a little anxious because I don't have the UPIX that I wish that I had in reserve to buy up as much of Hollywood and Los Angeles that I would love to have.
It's going to be big, right?
It's going to be huge.
I know that I've heard some people say that there's going to be around 500,000 properties or so in Los Angeles, which is kind of a repeat of Chicago. And as we all know, Chicago took about probably close to 6 months to sell out, at least 4 months. And I think LA, though, there is so many more players in the game. There's going to be so much more hype around it. I predict LA. Right now, LOYLDOYL predicting on the Upland Show, LA is going to sell out within a week.
Really?
7 days or less.
Wow, that would be huge. So,
Buy anything and everything you can. It's going to be gone.
500,000 properties is the estimate, we think? Is that right?
Yes.
And how many properties were in San Francisco and Manhattan? Just out of curiosity.
A lot less in both of those.
Okay.
Less than 100,000 in, I think, close. Let me get the numbers for you really quick while we, let's check that.
But as he's doing that, though, yeah, for sure, Los Angeles, so when we talk about tier 1 cities, San Francisco, Manhattan, Chicago, what's bigger than those three than Los Angeles, right? Los Angeles has impacted the world decades over.
Yeah, so Manhattan has around 40,000. San Francisco has around 140,000. So yeah, that's...
And how much in Chicago?
Chicago's about 500,000.
And and definitely Los Angeles might be, well, not definitely, but we suspect that Los Angeles might be 500,000 as well.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. That's going to be amazing. Los Angeles is huge.
Let me check. I know I have a number for how many were in Chicago as well, really quick. I have it right here. 530,000 properties.
And do we know yet if Los Angeles is going to be released as a vanilla city or no?
Yeah, I think they're doing vanilla on like everything, it seems like, lately.
Okay.
Because they're doing vanilla and then they're releasing collections a week later. That seems to be the new just standard way of everything.
And for those of you who are new to Upland, if you're wondering what we're talking about with vanilla, when a city was released, it used to be that the premier collection areas were also announced at the same time as the city being released, or maybe beforehand, so you knew exactly which were the highest value properties to reach for. But the game has decided to move towards this vanilla mode. Vanilla meaning that you buy properties, the city is minted, it's released. You buy properties without knowing exactly what are the identified collections that really boosts the value of each property. So you have to kind of really guess what those high-value properties or collections might be before you purchase properties in that city.
Yeah. So let's look at actually Los Angeles on the map here, because we were talking before the show, and I think it's a really good point, actually. Let's see here. So LA's right here.
Yep.
We also have Bakersfield right next door to it. We've seen what's happened on the East Coast. I think Bakersfield has been the worst performing city in Upland so far.
More so than Fresno.
In fact, let's go back to that. Let's go back to that. So, where's that buyer's guide I had earlier? East Coast versus West Coast. Bakersfield was, from a markup standpoint, when we put together this analysis, you can go back and watch that video on East Coast versus West Coast. Bakersfield is the worst performing markup at the time.
Damn you, Bakersfield.
I see this. Okay, if you're thinking about this the right way, I see this as opportunity, because Upland is going to get to the point. LA is going to be big.
Right.
People are going to go nuts on LA.
Sure.
LA is going to be just as popular as San Francisco and Manhattan. It is a massive city, one that you should get in on and simply buy as much as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Go in and mint as much as you
I
possibly
agree.
can.
I agree.
And then guess what? Also, start buying the floor of Bakersfield. If you do not own any Bakersfield, I think the cities that are bordering the big cities, like we've seen Rutherford, we've seen the Bronx, we've seen Brooklyn, we've seen Staten Island, all directly surrounding Manhattan, just explode in
Oakland
value.
around San Francisco, Alameda,
Oakland
Berkeley.
went up. Yeah, Oakland has gone up big time.
Yeah.
So these are the cities, because think about it. If players in the future cannot afford a property in the big city,
Right.
with how things are going in this game, you're going to want to own an apartment or a place that you can live, a place that your character can reside, because we know that type of utility is coming to this game.
Yep.
You're going to want to be in close proximity to a big city that you can go interact with and have a business.
Yep.
Like, dude, we're going to see this game completely change from a property ownership game to like a more interactive game of where location matters.
Absolutely, it
right?
will. Yeah, I mean, it already does to some degree. Obviously, it's Manhattan. You know, those properties that are around Central Park are like 10x compared to the ones that are just like 5 blocks away from it. You know, that's definitely a location deal. But what I hear you saying is that Bakersfield has been a bad performer because it's been sitting out there as this kind of like lame little city.
Yep.
No offense to anyone who lives in Bakersfield. I've been there. Lovely town. But it has not performed well.
And it's not close to a big city. It's probably the city that's farthest away from any airport.
Right.
So
when
it's kind of stranded, right?
Right. It's by itself. But when LA comes
there's
on,
going to be an airport and a train terminal.
Yeah, it's going to benefit from the hype around LA. Is what you're saying?
It's right there.
I agree.
I mean, let's look at it. It's literally.
I agree.
Yeah, LA right here. Okay, and the next closest city is going to be Bakersfield. And like, what else maybe they'll do Santa Barbara or something.
Yeah, I was just thinking Santa Barbara would be amazing, or San Diego would be huge too as well.
And maybe they'll come down and do San Diego, but San Diego in and of itself is almost another tier 1 city. Like, that's gonna maybe Riverside, Santa Clarita. Like, there will be a few other cities that are maybe released, but as of right now, Bakersfield is the city that's going to be the closest connection to Los Angeles. So if you have money right now, I think it's not a bad idea to go be buying up the floor of Bakersfield.
Or you hold your UPIX and you wait for Los Angeles and you get what you can get in Los Angeles. And then once you've gotten what you can get in Los Angeles and you're like, okay, everything else is just expensive, go back up to Bakersfield and get what you can. Yeah. And allow that to double or triple X.
Yeah. 3X. And let me give you my analogy of what I think cities go through. Cities are first released at mint price. So it's the cheapest you'll ever be able to buy anything. Buy whatever you can at mint, okay? But it'll sell out quick. I'm literally predicting it in a week. Wow. I know, and that's steep amazing for a city with 500,000 properties. That would be unprecedented for Upland.
You heard it here first.
But hey, we're seeing cities like Alameda and Berkeley and the Bronx with like 20,000 properties sell out in a few hours. Yeah. So at that same rate, I predict LA could even sell out in less than a week, maybe even 3 days. Wow. People just be nonstop minting that crap up.
That would be amazing. That will be amazing.
So what I was saying is, I think cities go like this. it's first released at the floor price, it quickly shoots up because people have FOMO.
Right.
And people are flipping properties
Right.
for ridiculous 10x prices.
Right.
And then it drops. It steadies out, okay, at more like 2x, 3x what it
Sure.
reasonably should go for.
Sure. Yeah.
Of the floor of the mint price. So the mint, what I'm saying in 10x, that's 10x of the mint price, and then it drops down to 2 or 3x. And then over time, it slowly goes back up to 10x prices.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's been exactly what happened in San Francisco. That's exactly what happened in Manhattan.
Okay, I like that. I believe that. So let me ask you a question about that then. Given that this is a vanilla city, and so if you look at your time table that you've just kind of predicted, where there's going to be a release and everyone goes nuts, and then it kind of slows down, and then it kind of grows over time.
Yeah.
Where in that cycle is the vanilla or is the collection announcements? Like, so it goes nuts and then it goes crazy, it slows down, and then when do collections get announced, and then does it go crazy again?
I think the hype is instant. So it goes, so it's release day, and one of the neighborhoods sells out, or one of the streets sells out instantly.
Right.
Within a few hours, that's like people are paying 10x prices because they're like, dude, I can't get anything else on this street unless I pay 10x.
It's like Bourbon
buy
Street,
it.
Bourbon Street in New Orleans,
and
right?
it didn't even become a collection.
Right.
And people are paying like 10x, 20x
Right.
for those properties, right?
Right.
But then I think it drops. I think it peaks again when collections are announced a week later.
I agree.
Because collections are announced and people find out, crap, I didn't get anything in that collection. They want it now.
Yep.
To make sure they have
Absolutely.
it. But I think you end up paying some. There are smart players in this game who know something's coming and they have it pre-listed at 10x prices. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's the cool thing. That's the thing I love about Upland is that, you know, it's not just a game of chance. You know, like when you play Monopoly, people call Upland kind of the crypto version of Monopoly, or the online version of Monopoly, but you're using real money or whatever. Maybe, but I know there's strategies in Monopoly, but for the most part, you're rolling the dice in Monopoly, and you hope you land on Park Place and Boardwalk, right? In Upland, it's about timing, right? You got to get there first, right? First come, first serve. But at the same time, there is a requirement of you to do some,
research.
Homework. Yeah, research,
do your
homework,
research.
And then so that you're ready. Like, okay, so here's a quick example of where I failed, all right? So with the Bronx, just, a month or so ago, the city was released, and it was sold out.
Within like an hour.
Within like an hour. And I missed it because I was working. I had meetings, whatever, so I had no opportunity to get to it. But then the collections were going to be announced like 3 days later, right? And that's when I started doing my research about what could be the collections in the Bronx, right? And there's a couple streets that ended up being collections in the Bronx. And one of those was, I can't remember the name of the street now, but it's an ultra rare now, or a rare at least. And I was like, dude, I want to buy a property on that. And it was like, at the time, everybody was kind of thinking the same thing, but they weren't sure. And so therefore, every property was already sold out on that street. But the cheapest one was like, there's like 3 for like 200,000 UPIX, right? And I was like, I'm going to pull a trigger and buy one of those. But I was like, I don't know, maybe it's not going to be a thing, whatever. And then it was announced.
And sure enough, it became a collection.
Yeah,
right?
and then in 5 minutes, those were all like 700,000 to 800,000.
Exactly.
UPIX.
Dude, it's funny you bring that up. I had the same exact story in this Berkeley release. Let me go to Oakland really quick and just check this floor prices here, because the night before, let me tell you, the night before, what's the one with University of California, Berkeley?
Berkeley.
This became a collection, right?
Go Bears.
I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Let's verify.
It is, yeah.
UC Berkeley became a collection.
Right.
So owning anything in that neighborhood. The night before these collections were announced, I thought to myself, I know that this is going to be a collection. It was the one that I was most sure of for whatever, because I'm like, The University of Berkeley is like everything that Berkeley's about, dude.
UC Berkeley, yeah, for sure.
So I scrolled in here and I went like this, and I was about this exact view, okay? And I could have bought 2 properties right here. I haven't even checked the price since then. I could have bought 2 right here for $195,000 each.
Okay.
And at the time, I'm like, that's steep. If I'm wrong, it's gonna take a while to be able to resell that.
Right.
So you're taking that risk. But let's check right now.
Oh no, dude.
No way, it dropped.
How's that possible, bro?
All right.
Are you sure about that? 195,000.
I'm sure about that.
That's weird.
I'm sure about that. It dropped. See, so maybe when the hype is big, that goes to show when the hype is big, I think people can, and I was curious that it might be lower because a lot of times that goes to show, take advantage. If you want to make money quick in this game, sometimes just going off FOMO and hype,
flip it.
Quick flipping is one of the best ways to make big money in this game really fast.
See, I mean, there are principles that guide the general behaviors and decisions in this game, but it's never a reality. I mean, like when we talked about New Orleans, who would not have thought that Bourbon Street would have been a collection?
I know.
Everybody thought that would have
Well,
been
luckily, the French Quarters wasn't, so pretty much everything on Bourbon Street was still a collection, but not as rare because the street itself wasn't one. And I guarantee you there's some people that paid 10 to 20x for Bourbon Street, and then they're like, dang it. But Mardi Gras is on that street. Why? People get so mad. People get so mad. And people get so mad about collection speculation, man.
All right, so back to Los Angeles. So what do we think are going to be the collections for Los Angeles?
So I would like to first talk about what I think is going to be the landmarks. These are the things you probably should not go for. You've had some experiences with this. I know McSqueeb has had experiences with city releases, and he's like, I'm going to get this really cool building.
Dude.
But then it's not released at the city release because it's being reserved for a landmark.
Dude, okay.
Auction.
Can I just tell that?
And Vince just sits there on it, and he's like, dude, why aren't they turning green, bro? I've been sitting here.
It's so sad. When Chicago minted 6 or 7 months ago.
You wanted the stadium or something?
No, so there's like the biggest tower in Chicago. I can't remember the name of the city or the building. The biggest, the tallest building in Chicago. I was hovering over that with my Block Explorer, and I was like, I am going to snag this baby. No one's going to get it from me. And so I was like waiting for those little Discord announcements or whatever. It was like 5 minutes, everybody. And I was like, 5 minutes, I was like, and like all of a sudden things started turning green. I was like, boom, boom, boom. And I snagged 3, but that were around that thing, that big building, the biggest building. But I was just like waiting there, and it didn't turn green, turn mint green.
And then you text me, dude, why isn't it turning green?
Yeah, and I was like, maybe they're messing with me, and it's about to turn green. And I kept thinking, if I move away, that's when it's going to turn green. And I sat there for probably 15 minutes, dude, when everything else of value was getting snagged, and I was just sitting there not doing anything.
Dude, it's the worst.
It's terrible.
So first of all, let's say what we think the landmarks. These are the examples of don't do what McSqueeb did in that situation, and wait for something to turn lime green that's not going to turn lime green because the Upland game is reserving this property to be auctioned at a later date. And
there could be a whole nother podcast called "What Not to Do" by McSqueeb.
Here's what's really cool. Google has this new feature that almost tells you, in my opinion, what they're going to be. Look at this. These are all the really cool buildings. Griffith Observatory. That is a guarantee. I'm willing to bet my entire Upland account that Griffith Observatory will be a landmark. It's a guarantee.
For sure. It's been okay. Who knows
the Getty Villa. What else? Who knows the 2 what? And TCL Chinese Theater.
Yeah,
obviously.
Chinese Theater for sure.
Sorry, who knows the 2 what?
Oh, I was just going to say, when we're talking about what's the theater we were just talking about? Not the Chinese Theater, but the observatory.
Yeah, the Griffith Observatory.
Griffith Observatory. Two very iconic movies, included the Griffith Observatory in their movie. And leave it in the comments. Two very iconic movies used the Griffith Observatory or highlighted it in their movie.
Well, I was there recently. It actually has the statue of what's his name, the musician, who was also an actor. Don't judge me on names, but he's in all those sci-fi movies and stuff.
Dude, I don't know what you're talking about. For real?
Yeah, there's a statue of him there.
At the Griffith Observatory?
Yeah.
Wow. All right, I'm just...
Not a statue, but it has his face on it.
And he's in the sci-fi? A musician who's in the sci-fi?
Dude, you know who it is. Gosh dang it. Now I'm going to have to look it up.
Like Captain Kurt? Like...
Let's look at the images. It'll be there. The Griffith Observatory is literally...
Cool.
Look at these views around the city.
It's crazy cool. I was just there a couple years ago.
It's freaking what's his name, dude? You're going to judge me for not remembering his name.
You're going to judge me for... I don't know his name, dude.
This! James Dean,
He's
dude.
not a musician.
Oh, sorry, dude. I was thinking...
He's not in the sci-fi. He's the actor in one of the movies I'm telling you about, though.
No, that's right. But I knew you were thinking of him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I got confused with someone else.
No, you're good, dude.
Yeah, it was James Dean. It's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
So, but let's give some observation here about the map of LA. Beverly Hills and Santa Monica are not LA official. So I'm predicting that these are going to be reserved for a later expansion, kind of like Alameda and Berkeley was for
that makes
Oakland.
sense. That makes sense.
I think they're going to save Beverly Hills, Santa Monica, whatever this Culver City or whatever this Ladera Heights.
What is between Beverly Hills and Santa Monica that's on the 405? Right there. That's also reserved.
Brentwood, Rancho Park.
I don't know what that is.
Westwood is a good spot. This area that's blocked off as well?
Just wonder if that's like a cool spot, but I don't think so.
Well, it's where the Jackie Robinson Stadium is, so that's interesting.
What's the Jackie Robinson Stadium? Is that where the Dodgers play?
UCLA Bruins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, UCLA is here. This is going to be a big spot for sure. So that's LA. Do you have like some speculation of streets? Like obviously Hollywood Boulevard. How do you not go after Hollywood Boulevard?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Streets. Okay, so I'm not from LA. I used to live in San Francisco, but not LA. But I would say Santa Monica Boulevard. I would say PCH is very iconic. That's a highway.
Everything along the PCH, man, is cool. Well, they've got the Pacific Palisades down here. That could definitely be a good collection. Like, that's clearly a really cool neighborhood, really cool area. It's got the Getty Villa land. That's for sure going to be a landmark as well, man.
Yeah, dude.
I'd put money on that one as well.
And where's Dodger Stadium?
Good question. Dodgers Stadium. Okay, that's
it's in there, man.
I don't know the neighborhoods. That's what I'm struggling to see. Like, it's near Chinatown. Chinatown could be good. Silver Lake.
Okay, so LA does
it's Echo Park. It's in Echo Park.
Yeah, for sure. So LA has a very iconic Chinatown and Koreatown. Both of those are really cool. And Lincoln Heights, man. Lincoln Heights is also another spot.
Dude, Silver Lake, Los Feliz, like there's so many epic neighborhoods.
What about Compton? Compton and Watts?
Yeah, you got Compton, dude.
Like straight out of Compton, yo.
I mean, that's like high crime rate area, but
dude, it's scary as crap.
But for all like the rap music that's come out of Compton and all that, like it will probably see. That's the one that if it's not a collection, I'm glad you brought up Compton, because if Compton's not a collection, people are gonna build that up just for the name.
Dude, I would.
Like,
I want
buy Compton for sure.
For real,
Get a
dude.
few properties there.
I want some
because
stuff in Compton. Yeah, for sure. I mean, okay, so do you want to talk about other things that could be collections?
Absolutely. Let's keep.
So I know off the show. Okay, so remember how Chicago had a collection just on the mobster locations, right? Well, there could be in LA. Why not all the production movie houses? You know, like the movie studios.
That would
film
be
locations.
The perfect ultra rare collection in
Yeah.
LA. Is
Yeah.
film studios or film locations.
Yeah, I mean, just watch.
Definitely do your research.
Yeah, watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You're going to see at least probably a third of at least those types of collections.
La La
right?
Land, right?
La La Land. Like that's got. Well, I mean, that might be one of the movies I was talking about.
Yeah.
But there's also really great film locations that are very famous in L.A. One of my favorites in L.A. That's a film location. By the way, Burbank. Is Burbank an option? Oh, Burbank is cut
Looks
off.
like Burbank's cut off from LA, so that would probably be in the expansion with.
Because most movies are made in Burbank, bro.
Yeah, dude. Burbank, Pasadena, Beverly Hills, Santa Monica. That could all be one. They could just call it the LA expansion and add all these properties, right? But there's already plenty of properties. Like there's plenty of properties just in LA official. Here's what's weird. Let's show the screen again. This little drag of properties, finger of, like digit. If you see this
little
highlighted area, it's this little is there even, there's going to be very few properties within there.
Okay, so that's a good question. So does Upland...
Oh, look, Compton is not, but...
Okay, so question, does Upland, are they strictly following just what is the legal
I think
boundaries?
they might. I think they might.
Really?
In this release.
Okay.
Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll add... It would be really cool if they added Compton, Beverly Hills, Santa Monica, and kind of got everything directly around LA as well to make it a full...
Because I'm thinking back to Kansas City, and some of those neighborhoods are actually cities...
Technically their own city.
Like Gladstone. I'm pretty sure Gladstone's its own city.
Okay.
It's in the middle of Kansas City.
So maybe they will. And if they do, definitely... If they do... Go big on Beverly Hills and Santa Monica, obviously. This is the most unique one because it's so cut off from LA, but this little terminal island down near Long Beach, coastal San Pedro, it's got this battleship USS museum, LA World Cruise Center. This is actually at Central San Pedro, pretty cool area as well. That's kind of way far out from everything else in LA.
Yeah, there's also lots of cool things like the Hollywood Bowl. That's another theater that's really cool.
That's another landmark, I think.
And the Hollywood Bowl, by the way, I would love it personally if anyone in the comments can just drop what movie you think the Hollywood Bowl was highlighted in, and it's an 80s movie, and it played a big role in the movie. Hollywood Bowl, yo. And then so this is my favorite film location in LA. And I've seen it in so many movies. And that is the Los Angeles Viaduct.
Okay.
All right. So Terminator 2, right? When
that's the tunnel?
So the viaduct is this big vein all the way through the city, which is just concrete. It looks like a massive half pipe, but it's concrete. And if you remember,
I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
there's
Terminator
a bunch of
2,
graffiti on the walls and stuff.
Maybe I can't remember, but when Schwarzenegger, the Terminator, is chasing the bad Terminator in Terminator 2, and they bust that semi off some bridge, and they land in this massive it looks like a big huge cement ditch.
Yeah,
that's the LA Viaduct.
Oh yeah, that's been in so many movies. That's in Transformers when Bumblebee's fighting there and stuff.
And so many skate videos are filmed in that same location, man. It's a cool spot, dude.
Yeah, that's a really cool spot. I think that's been in even racing movies and all sorts of stuff.
Oh, so many racing videos.
So, but I don't know. That'll be interesting if they turn those into like properties you can own sections of the viaduct. That would be sweet. Definitely get in on that.
I would love to own. Personally, I would love to own that. That's like a personal thing for me. I would love to own that.
Yeah, that's really cool. Other than that, we're super stoked about LA. LA is coming to Upland very soon. They haven't given us an exact date, but I imagine in the next week or two. It's going to be in January for sure.
Save up your UPX. Although I don't want to
go all in.
I don't want to say like don't buy anything now, but like save up your UPX. Think about what LOYLDOYL said about
maybe buy some Bakersfield right now to because that floor price is going up. Being so close to LA,
it will go up. This is
the
time to make some money for sure.
So
cool.
We'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, we hope to see you in the next one. Peace out.